Hello, hello. Welcome back to the long-awaited Michael Sisco show. It's not like I had a show yesterday or anything. Did I stream yesterday? I can't even remember. I think I streamed yesterday. Anyways, very special guest today who I actually met recently uh, outside of Harry's, and then we shifted over to another bar right before things got a little crazier for me for the night. And then Stephan Ignoramus went to sleep while I was chasing Antifa all night. But but welcome to the show, Stephan. If you could, while I set up super chats on Entropy, just kind of introduce yourself to the audience for me.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me on, Michael. Yeah, it was nice meeting you in real life. And I don't know how I feel about, whether I wanted to be in on the action, but I'm thankful that I stayed safe that night. I'm glad you're safe as well. But yeah, I'm a live streamer. I've actually just got a 2-week ban from YouTube the other day. That's why I have my alternate channel listed as my name. But live stream, I'm a professional musician. And, I've been doing my morning show for a couple years now and just kind of get into culture, politics, whatever else, and comedy. We try to, maintain laughs in these times, but, do interviews and things like that. But kind of your standard podcaster, commentator out here on the internet.
Nice. And I don't think Entropy is going to work again. It's like, as soon as I monetize on YouTube, Entropy wants to be retarded. Oh, wait. Let's try this.
That's like a new, like kind of like Patreon, right?
Well, it allows you to receive super chats through a third party. It might be working now. Oh yeah, here we go. Because I get to keep more of the money if you send a super chat through Entropy. Like YouTube takes a bigger cut of it than but Entropy was nice because I could receive super chats before I was actually monetized. Yes, Nephilim Ninja of what kind of name is this? Like Nephilim Ninja of Nibiru.
That's one of my regulars, one of my good friends right there.
Nice. Well, we are in fact live, which is we are. So I don't know how many viewers we're gonna get tonight because we have like 5 major live streams happening tonight.
Oh, really?
In the Orthodox world, all at the same time. So a lot of my regulars might be watching, Jay Dyer with Brave the World right now. Yeah. So I don't know, but whatever. They'll be here for the playback.
Yeah, I mean, you had Jay on. Yeah, I listened to that episode. I mean, it showed up in his podcast, and I subscribed to his podcast. I was like, oh my goodness!
Yeah,
it was just a cool surprise.
Yeah, that was cool. It was I had to hide my excitement. I've been a fan of his for 5 years. So
were you nervous a little bit? Yeah.
No, I wasn't. I don't really get as nervous anymore. I just have to hide my excitement. Like I was just pumped. I was pumped. I was like, it's like I've been a fan of this dude for 5 years, and here he is on my show interviewing. So that was just cool. So, and Brave the World, she's big too, man. Have you seen her stuff?
I follow her on Twitter, and she's got some really good. I've never seen her channel or anything.
Yeah, she's got like 45,000 subscribers on her channel. So good stuff. All the simps are gonna sub.
Yeah, they must. So. Right? They're required to.
That's as us men trying to build our audience, we struggle because we don't have that advantage. We don't get the simps like the girls do.
Yeah, maybe one day the morality will truly flip. So it'll invert to the point where random male streamers will be sought after.
I don't think so.
No. I just don't ever get that bad. No, cannibalism is before that.
It's never going to. It's just not the natural dynamic, if that makes any sense. Although it's really a beta male thing to simp on the internet for women.
Yeah, it's got to stop. It's got to stop, but I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
It's not.
It's like the OnlyFans e-girl craze, and like there's the like for lack of a better word, like soft core e-girl, like political talking head e-thought culture.
What goes? Do you actually think that if you send heart emojis or like tell this girl she's so beautiful in the comments of her slutty pictures, that she's going to actually give you real attention and maybe date you? Like, is that what you think? Is that
I don't know, man. I'm way past mind reading stage. If you try to get into someone's head like that, you'll never figure it out because they'll never. I don't think they'll admit. I don't know. I think they probably say they're just the fan. They are supporting her work.
as someone who managed a female candidate, I can tell you that she has no respect for like the massive simps in the comments. Like it's just funny. It's
comment simps, dude.
yeah, like it's just like, like she doesn't take seriously like the kisses being blown in the comment in the pictures,
Oh, that's very cringy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I don't like looking at that. Like my fellow brother, like just my brother, man, is putting like kissy faces in. Like I don't like to see that, man.
I mean, it's funny to an extent. Like the funny, if like I think on what's that dude's show? Beardson on his show was like, oh, we saw Lauren at AFPAC. She's an Aryan queen. Like that's funny. That's funny.
That's not the same. Yeah, it's almost like not punching down, but it's like something.
Yeah. But anyways, we're here to talk about the election that is never ending. I don't know. Did you do anything for election night? I had an 8-hour stream that night. So
yeah, I was on the street. Yeah, I was in DC on the street, like in front of the White House, trying to. Well, not trying. I was streaming the whole night,
hanging out with the Antifa.
Yeah, trying to blend in. Yeah. Well, I mean, you get threats or whatever. It's interesting. If you're alone, I feel like you're more safe a little bit.
Nice. So David Taylor, give us some kisses, bro. Send me. Yesterday was my birthday, so you should.
Oh, happy birthday, man!
Oh, thank you. Oh. Everyone should send me birthday super chats. So
do it.
All 6 of you watching. Normally, I get up to about 20, 25, 30, but it's high traffic tonight with the. We got a lot of competition in the same.
The night of the election, they had a bunch of like big screens on the side of trucks, and they were watching it on the side of the election coverage on the side of buildings and holding each other's hands, stuff like that. Like really, they're like scared, but it was weird. It looked like Trump was going to win that night, and the whole now famous 4 a.m, everything stopped, and I wasn't there at that point, but I knew it wasn't going to end that night.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I mean, I knew that it wasn't, but I guess as it was going on and it was I'm doing the math, looking at the Trump stuff, like the numbers, and I'm like, maybe it will end tonight. Maybe, but then it just went. Even though I knew what was going to happen, I was still kind of shocked in a way.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes
Biden's way, like the next couple days or whatever.
Yeah. Here we go. Jeffrey Mixon. Yeah. Orthodoxy first, Jay Dyer and me. It's a stacked night. Stacked night for the Ortho Bros. And we're going to get Steven. Steven's going to be an Ortho Bro someday. I just know it. I'll
look into it. Yes.
But anyways, why don't you give us a quick review of all the examples of election fraud that we are seeing?
Well, my quick example is I can't because there's so many. Like what you like so the there's a few examples from every hearing. So like the one I watched the whole hearing of was Pennsylvania, and it seems like there's not a single part, like detail or layer of the system that can't go to crap right away. It's crazy. There's stuff about the postal service. There's people testified about voter intimidation in Pennsylvania. They're like getting violent. They're like not letting viewers, like the Republican viewers, watch. It's crazy. They have rules about they must be 20 feet away to see a ballot on a piece of paper. The whole system is insane from what I've gathered so far, and people that have watched the Arizona hearing said more of the same. But it's just there's people that looked into the Dominion software, and that's can be hacked. So I almost don't really know where to start because it's just example after example, but the mainstream media keeps saying there's no evidence of widespread. And that word widespread's interesting. I almost don't know where to start with this.
Yeah. Well, hey, our mutual friend sends me
Ah,
my first YouTube super chat, and not a small one. So we appreciate that,
Frank, what's
Frank.
up, man?
He also bought us beer. Not that I should be telling everyone that, but I appreciate when people buy me beer. That gets you real high up on my my favorite people's list. When you buy me beer, that's just how it goes. Thank you, David Taylor, for the birthday wishes. Bead Ortho says, "How about the glitch in PA with over 19,000
Yep.
votes switched from Trump?"
How can they say that's not evidence? How much did did they like? Some of these cases that Rudy Giuliani is talking about are like more than 150,000 votes and there's multiple cases of this in each state. And I don't understand how this and you could have any confidence in the system. It, it's just it almost leaves me speechless. Like what you really got to do is watch the hearings and just pay attention to Linwood, Sidney Powell, and Trump's Twitter feed because they retweet like the spiciest clips. I don't know. You said if you might want to screen share or something like that. But there's this lady in Michigan. I don't know if you saw this lady in Michigan that accused the senator of hiding stuff. Like the witness, this like common lady. But there's just examples and examples of this in every state in these 10-hour hearings. It's crazy.
Yeah, some of the witnesses seem a little quacky, but
Yeah. Yeah,
obviously a lot of.
yeah, I just wonder, I don't know, how do you feel about that when someone comes off as not that credible, but I don't know, like if I were like slurring my words, I was like, hey man, you know, it would be hard to trust me. I don't know where my line is because that person still can be telling the truth, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It could just be. I mean, we're just bringing up normal people, to be honest, and none of them. They're not going to be polished, you know. Um,
One thing I was saying on my solo stream the other day, where it was like, even when I was more of a liberal, I mean, I was like a full blown liberal about 7 or 8 years ago, and even then, if you would have said the common people on the left or common people on the right, who would you trust more in like a voting testimony? I still would have said right wing. Like
really?
yeah. Maybe I'm different. I was different at the time than a lot of lefties, but I just consider the salt of the earth normal people to be right wing and just more credible, more trustworthy, more to lose. That's what this one lady was bringing up in her testimony. She was like, I have 2 kids. I have a great job. I just signed a thing that said I would go to prison if I lied here. Why would I lie? And she asked the senator if he signed anything, and he just didn't answer.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was trying to find an Epic Times article. I had seen one that kind of broke down everything, but
Oh, yeah?
I mean, part of, uh, I would consider the social media interference to be part of the whole thing as well. You know,
Yeah. I mean,
censoring the news coverage and putting on disclaimers for pretty much
yeah.
every claim. That's
And
part
they
of it.
didn't, and the Hunter Biden thing, too, even before the election. Just the fact that that was kind of stepped on Twitter, and the New York Post wasn't allowed on Twitter because of that thing for a while. And I know there's a poll of people wanted to switch their vote after they
Yeah.
found out. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right here. So there's the evidence and then there's the actual lawsuits. A lot of these lawsuits are getting either denied, but when you take something to the Supreme Court, it's always after your lawsuit was either denied or
Yeah. Yeah.
dismissed at some point.
Yeah,
Do you think this? Yeah.
that's a good thing, I think. I mean, the goal is to get it into this. You really want it at the Supreme Court. Most of the activist liberal judges are at the lower levels anyways, so just
Yeah.
keep appealing up.
Yeah. So Google test in the chat said, "Do you see the video surveillance of suitcases of ballots under the table?" That's in Georgia. Yeah. Did you see that video?
No,
Oh, we
maybe.
should share for that one. Let me find it right now. Um it it looked like there was like a few different details about it, but they didn't know they were being recorded in Georgia. And they also, do you know what fractional voting is? You ever heard of that?
Is that like fracking?
That's funny. Yeah, it's the way they do. It's an algorithm that they use with Dominion and a bunch of other. It's standard technology at this point. They were saying where the tabulations came back with percentages of a vote because the algorithm. I'm not that smart on this stuff, but the algorithm like converts. It doesn't say one vote is one vote. There's an algorithm where it either breaks into little parts and then tabulates all of them and groups them, and the final answer often comes out as percentages on a vote. It'll say there's like 50,000.388 votes because of this algorithm, and this has been viewed as legit for years.
What?
Yeah, dude, it's really a mess, and I'm not a big I don't know, deep dive or stats guy, but everything I looked at with this, it looks like it all could be compromised and probably has been for a very long time. I'm sorry to laugh. I mean, I don't even, like it's, but like it's crazy. People got to watch these hearings, man. I got this thing. You want me to share my screen?
Yeah, sure.
All right, sweet.
Just make sure you share audio with it. Click the little share audio button if it's a video.
Okay. Share audio and
I have to give the little approval.
Yes, approve me, bro.
Approve
so is
me.
you got this? Yeah, here we go. All right.
About 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to roll this back and show it to you. There you go. So now they're going to start pulling these ballots out from under this table. This table, the black one, was placed there by the lady with the blonde braids at about 8:22 a.m. in the morning. So she put that table there. So the same person who's staying behind now, the same person who cleared the place out under the pretense that we're going to stop counting, is the person who put the table there at 8:22 in the morning. Yeah, I saw 4 suitcases come out from underneath the table. Yeah, upper right hand, you see the gentleman in the red. So he just pulled one out. So what are these ballots doing there, separate from all the other ballots? And why are they only counting them whenever the place is cleared out with no witnesses? Is the question. So these machines can process about 3,000 ballots an hour. You have multiple machines there, and they're there for 2 hours. So you do the math. How many ballots went through those machines in those 2 hours when there was no one there to supervise, to be present, consistent with your statutes and rules, to supervise the tabulation? We believe that could easily be, and probably is certainly, beyond the margin of victory in this race.
Just that one right there. Whoa. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't, and that's just one example, but it doesn't, like, here's the thing. It doesn't matter what we think. Like, that's the other thing I was thinking about with this. Like, we have actually, before I make that point, let me ask you this. You know how Fuentes and Vincent James, Alex Jones, and Ali Alexander, they stormed the State House in Georgia, and there've been all these. How much do you think that these protests are doing stuff versus just the procedure working itself?
I think they're particularly useful in just kind of displaying to Trump who actually is on his side, who's willing to get off their butts and actually show up. I do think that they do provide some sort of pressure to some of the grifters who may be on the fence about grifting back. I think. Yeah, I think most of the grifters have obviously, returned to true form, but I do think it might at least intimidate some people into or providing some little some courage to people like Representative Paul Gosar, who has been our guy, and he actually showed up to one of the rallies. So, I mean, at least I think it's useful. I think it's beneficial. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I wanted to ask you too about so do you back not like you know how Lynn Wood and them are saying to not vote for these Georgia runoff candidates? Do you back not voting for them? Like basically like he said if they don't support Trump in this, you should not vote for them. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Because first of all, both of those assholes voted with Mike Lee for his
Yeah.
freaking
I was
bill
looking
to
at
re.
that.
Yeah, and I mean, if they're not, I'd rather just deal with people that I know are gonna be libs than these two-faced losers that are gonna stab me in the back. Why
Cool.
would I go? Why would I support voting for them? Screw that.
Yeah.
There's
Interesting. Yeah, because I hadn't heard even the argument until I saw your tweet today, actually. And I didn't know why. I just saw that he was telling people not to vote, and there was a dispute in the GOP over that. And
Yeah.
I see what you're
Nah,
saying.
I mean, I understand some people will be like, oh, but our fight for abortion, we need to have a majority in the Senate. And, I understand that too, but really, do you really think that with these the Senate full of cucks that we're actually we're gonna actually somehow outlaw abortion with the Senate majority and a house
No.
that's still in. So basically what I think is that the message that we could send by boycotting the GOP little runoff, the net positive from that by maybe like waking them up a little bit would be more than the net positive of having a majority in the Senate.
Yeah,
Like,
which we've had before. Yeah, that's a good point, man. Yeah.
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 So, I mean, do I want to lose a majority in the Senate? No. Do I? What I want them to do is to just stop being cucks. So,
That's gonna be a hard. That's gonna be a. that's gonna be hard for that to happen. It seems like
yeah.
the cuck-servative, voice is loud in the GOP.
It's
Quite
like
loud.
they just reverted back to being cucks as soon as they thought that Trump lost, and it's like they're hedging their bets in the wrong direction.
Well, it's weird. I mean, a lot of these places they're talking about, it's they have voter turnout that is statistically basically impossible. So I just wonder. I don't know there's plenty of people on YouTube that are very, very smart that have run the statistics and say that the anomalies are crazy. And I just wonder who the Republican, establishment Republicans are listening to when they, say Trump that he lost. He has not lost yet, legitimately.
Yeah, well, I think that they're in on it as much as the Democrats are, to be honest. I mean, these are people who never wanted Trump to be president to begin with. They undermined Trump especially the Senate Republicans. Like, I mean, I can't really prove this to you, but I was running a Senate campaign, right? And I got a little bit of I could hear chatter from behind the scenes with people that work in politics. And basically, from what I understand, those first couple of years of President Trump, I know a lot of people were expressing frustration that he wasn't able to get as much done as he wanted to, or, well, part of that was because Mitch McConnell, who is the Senate Majority Leader, was during the whole time while pretending to be supporting Trump, was holding the impeachment stuff with the Russiagate and all that over Trump's head. Why? Because who would be the final decision-making body with an impeachment? Well, that's the Senate. So Mitch McConnell was basically had Trump by the balls his whole first term until after that, until the dumb until they actually
exonerated, or whatever, whatever.
Yeah. So I mean,
wow, interesting.
That's the rumor. That's
swampy,
and seems pretty plausible to me. So
that is as straight swamp as they come, right there. I believe it. It's DC. Yeah, One thing that I was thinking about with the election stuff is just that such a clear cut failure of globalism. Like we have 5 or 6 different companies working our elections. It's insane. Like they have servers in Frankfurt. It's a Barcelona owned company. There's like 5 or 6 different companies involved in our election. How do we let that happen? Like, what?
Seems legit, bro.
Dude. Dude. That is crazy. Is it because of like free market? Is it because of
It's because the globalist elites run the establishment. That's just what it is. Why wouldn't that happen?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, Mitch, I like this comment. Bead ortho, Mitch looks like a melting ice cream cone.
Yeah,
awesome.
That guy's good at politics, though. I don't even know. It's like if you keep winning, you're good at politics, and he keeps winning.
Yeah, well, when my candidate and I were first about to launch, we were given a school down, like just a briefing from one of our friends in the Trump campaign, RNC Trump campaign, not like an actual Trumper. It's like, oh, the party boss is Mitch McConnell. Everything goes through Mitch McConnell, and if he doesn't like you, you're screwed. And we knew we were like just kind of nodding our heads because we knew that he wasn't going to like us. So, but because we're insurgent populists that hate his guts. So,
wow, man,
yeah.
I don't think I ever want to get actually involved in politics. It seems just like a dark experience.
It is. If you do get involved, make sure that you maintain your prayer life and stick to that, because it is probably one of the most spiritually draining and exhausting endeavors to actually take part in a campaign, at least to the degree that I did.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back, man. I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, me too. Should have brought Mitch some bought Mitch some cocaine. Okay.
Yeah, cocaine Mitch.
Yeah, there's my demonetization right there.
Yeah. I'm looking at a Washington Examiner article. It's so interesting, man. It just says Nevada fraud, 1,500 dead voters, 42,000 voted multiple times, RV camps at home as homes. Now, on none of the liberal, this is on the Examiner, which is, at least right wing, but it's labeled opinion on some numbers. Like, these are just claims that are being made. That's not their opinion. But on the liberal ones like AP, it's just fact. There's no widespread, Donald Trump refusing to acknowledge that Joe Biden won. It literally says these things have not happened yet. So I just don't. It's so amazing what's going on. Yeah, Joe Biden won by 33,000 votes in Nevada, and there's 3 cases of more than 30,000 votes that are in dispute there. And people say it's just over.
Yeah, well, it's also crazy. I think they're kind of taking advantage of the fact that it's not just one thing, even though that actually adds to our case. I mean, it's obvious. So you can probably hear my AC going, but it's obvious that they use so many different methods that it's all compounding in these states, like the mail-in ballots. And it appears that they literally just shipped in extra filled in ballots. We saw that truck driver talking about. I did catch that.
Yep.
He drove ballots from New York City to Pennsylvania, and that's illegal right there. So there's the mail-ins, there's the changing votes, the scratching. There's that. There's the kicking out the observers.
Yeah, dude.
There's
so
the
shady.
Yeah, there's the Dominion. There's and anyone with a brain who's actually honest, if you just look at the stats, right? You see what happened. They paused the count, and then after, basically, they looked and said, well, we need to manufacture this many votes to catch up. And you see that straight line, all the votes that came in were all Biden for the most part, like 9-1. And that's just not plausible. It's not possible.
It can't be. Like, yeah. And do you buy this the raid in Germany? A lot of people said that's like disinfo. Some people say that that's not. Like, what's your opinion on that?
I have no idea.
Yeah. I heard someone say that there were casualties there.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
That was on well, it got uploaded as Jay Dyer's podcast, but it wasn't. You know how when he goes like yours, he uploads on his own channel, and it was another person's show, but they were talking about how they heard that there were casualties there, and it was like a couple days after the election.
I believe it.
Wow. Do you think we might be in some straight like undercover civil war, shadow government stuff?
We definitely are. We've been for a while. Yeah, but more importantly, Iona likes my sweater, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Nice.
I got it today specifically for the show. So
for that super chat, yes.
Yeah, but apparently some special forces soldiers died. And they raided a CIA farm. So no, I mean I do get the sense that the special ops people are kind of like at odds with the intelligence people, and it's like I don't know, dude.
Oh, that's so sketch.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that's what I kind of think like Seth Rich was caught up in. I don't know if that's I never there's never any proof, but I've been to those neighborhoods where he got shot and he got nothing stole from him, and it's just like it's that part is scary to me. Like that's one of the reasons I would just never get involved.
Well, here's part of the reason why it seems plausible to me is because I paid a lot of attention to what was happening in our little proxy conflict in Syria, which is the whole reason I supported Trump, was because he wanted to kind of end all. I'm Orthodox, so my people were getting basically slaughtered by these U.S.-backed rebel forces. Yeah, moderate rebels. Moderate rebels were chopping up Christians and putting them in trash bags, and you ended up having State Department-backed militias fighting Pentagon-backed militias, which basically means that like the State Department and the Pentagon were like fighting proxy wars against each other with these groups in Syria, like various rebel groups. And so
amazing.
Yeah, like that's a fact. Like this stuff was happening. So it's kind of it's mind-boggling to really think about, but who and then who's really
who's really calling the shots? Is it like rogue people? Like how far up does it go? It raises so many questions.
Well, this is also just a anytime you have a mega state bureaucracy, you're gonna have just you kind of have different levels of power grabs going on, and the bureaucracy is permanent, so it's extra democratic. It's not democratic because they're there all the time, no matter who takes over the executive branch as president or whatever. These people are there, and these institutions are always there, and that's who really continues from administration to administration. And then you have Trump comes in, who actually wants to be a real actually run things, and that's partly so. But as far as the dynamics between these fighting groups, I don't know, man.
It's so far above the pay grade. Like you have to have like secrets upon secrets, and you don't. So,
but what's obvious is it's stupid and it shouldn't be happening. It's like we should actually have a honest system that's transparent about how it works. And yeah, but anyways, how are the lawsuits going?
Well, I mean, a lot of them are getting dropped, and I think I think we talked about this earlier, but it's you know, just because things get dropped doesn't mean they're going to the Supreme Court, or not are or aren't going to the Supreme Court. But a lot of them are coming from Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood, who are not Trump's lawyers. But I wanted to ask you about that too. Do you were they how like they broke Rudy Giuliani put out a statement that they're not affiliated with Linwood and Sidney Powell. Do you think that was strategic, or do you think that was actually like a split?
I think it was more strategic. So part of, I actually volunteered for Trump Victory and then ended up working for who I was the team leader for as their campaign manager. So this time, Trump Victory teamed up with the RNC for the campaign. So the Trump campaign was the RNC basically. 2016, he did not do that. The campaign was completely separate from the Republican Party. So I think a lot of what Sidney Powell was alleging is going after it's going to hurt Republicans like Brian Kemp, right? So it's going to implicate a lot of Republicans. So I think what actually happened was the RNC is like, what?
Yeah.
So because the RNC just wants it to be about Trump, and so I think there's that dynamic of Trump Victory still is happening because Trump hasn't conceded. Trump Victory is the RNC, so you can't have this lawyer who's accusing Republicans of wrongdoing. I think that's really what it came down to.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, oh, she's not with us, even though she really is.
Yeah, I mean, and she was Michael Flynn's attorney, and Michael Flynn is calling. I don't know. Do you think this is real martial law that he's trying to call for, or like fake martial law? It says limited martial law, and you should temporarily suspend the Constitution to hold a national revote. You know that? Do you know that they're calling for that?
I heard about it.
Yeah. What do you think about that, man?
Well, I mean, I personally think we should scrap the Constitution, but
Cool. Yeah.
I'm a reactionary right-wing nut, so you know.
I mean, not really. I don't think you are. If you are, then I am. I mean, it's been defunct for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I mean,
more than 100 years.
I think it was basically a naive. I think the founding fathers were very naive in the way that they thought that the nature of power worked, which was based on flawed Enlightenment ideals. And I think that at this point, it's become very obvious to anyone that's honest and has with an IQ over 95. So I personally think that we should rethink how government should work. And it's at this point, it's either going to be authoritarian left or authoritarian right. Take your pick.
Yeah.
I know what side I'm on. I believe in a it's always going to be a religious institution that is or something acting as such that has the authority over the state. And we have that now. You mentioned before we went live, you were talking about the influence of professors, right? So they would be what's part of what we would call the cathedral. So there's like literally a religious body that is pretending not to be religious, but they're pushing the progressive religion out of what used to be a Puritan seminary, which is now known as Harvard, and now it's the progressive seminary. And so the professors and the academic elites, they're like our bishops, and the media are the priests, and they call the shots. And that's basically what we're dealing with. We are dealing with a church that runs the state. The problem is it's a satanic church that hates Christians, and I would rather have something that doesn't pretend to be a a democracy run by the people that's actually manipulated by oligarchs and academic elites. And I would just rather have like something like the Byzantine Empire had, where the where the church has the authority over the state, but the church, they act in symphonia. The emperor rules over the temporal, and the church rules over the spiritual, and they don't really overlap too much, except on rare occasions. So yeah, that's what I.
Fascinating. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's fascinating. Yeah.
Because we're just, otherwise all you get is just a deception that's pretending that what we really have is a government that operates one way while pretending to operate the other way, and that's just how democracy and republics and popular governments have always, throughout all of their short little. I mean, if you look at history broadly, of recorded history, we're really just a small blip. Even when you look back at ancient Greece's attempt at democracy, and the reason for that is because, Frank, it doesn't work. Like the reason why the majority of human history has been like some form of monarchy is because that's all that works efficiently. It's the most efficient form of government.
Wow, that's good stuff, man. That's a good rant. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm asking people this stuff, kind of broader questions, because I just like, to me, the details of this election are, everyone's saying the same thing. Everyone's contradicting what everyone says. It's really about power. No one really says the word power, really, but it is all about that. Every single one of these these lawsuits say the same thing: massive election fraud, multiple violations of the election laws. They hold a hearing, and then the people in the state legislature in some way decide based on their own judgment, which is power at a certain point. And then if Trump never leaves, then it becomes really about power. Then it becomes about who controls the military at that point. So it's just the details, like rational debate in mainstream politics. Me and you can talk, like YouTube can talk, but rational debate with these people in power is done. None of it makes any sense.
Yeah.
They know it. They know it too. Yeah.
We got Eugen in the chat. What's up, Eugen? Eugen's a good ortho bro. So glad to have you here.
Was that a microwave? That's funny.
What's he talking about? Oh, the beep.
I think that beep. Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually, I think it's my humidifier. I'm in a basement, not actually in a Victorian library. So
I was gonna say, do you keep your books get moist in the basement? So you have to dehumidify them.
Yeah. But now I think kind of what you were just explaining is comes down to what does sovereignty actually mean? And a lot of like the philosophies that influenced the America and the West after the Enlightenment was basically these faulty ideas of sovereignty, like legitimacy of power, right? And they're like, oh well, it's like a contract between the people, and so in our system, sovereignty is derived by votes, right? But like the popular will.
It makes me cringe so hard. All the things you're talking about, like the social contract, oh my gosh, it's so cringe, dude.
Yeah.
It's as false as the Easter Bunny.
Social contract is a gay theory.
Consent of the governed, like all that, like equality. All of it is just so false, man.
But what sovereignty actually is, it means the buck stops here and you answer to no one. And so a power that actually has sovereignty answers to nobody. And that's what it means.
Only God, then.
Who controls the nukes?
Yeah.
But the problem is nobody here controls it because of the bureaucratic mess, right? So like the US is the only country right now that has actual sovereignty in the West anyways. And then if you look, all of the countries that are attempting to have sovereignty outside of us, like North Korea, Iran, Russia, China, they're all our boogeymans, right? But
wow.
Look at Brother Augustine, welcome. He says GOP equals gay overrated pretenders.
The GOP is a confirmed gay op for sure. Confirmed, man. We need a reform party. We need like a cleanse the filth party.
The third parties aren't going to work here either, just because the Democrat Party and the Republican Party have just established themselves as these gigantic gatekeeping organizations. And so the only way to practically do anything in our system is
join the LP. Just kidding. join the libertarians. Just kidding.
Yeah, right.
My
Okay.
bad. I cut you off, my bad. What's the only available?
Talk about a gayer institution,
dude.
Than the
oh my god, like CIA homo op, like, yeah. Oh yeah, that's so cringe.
Yeah,
I'm gonna burn my card on stream.
You should do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tag the Libertarian Party chair in the tweet.
Can I come on when you do it?
Yeah, you're welcome to. Yes,
I
on my show anytime.
I have an episode called "Libertarianism is Astrology for Men."
Dang, that's right. You hear that might be wrong in the chat. Me and him share. We both like liberty, but we both are very critical. I think might be wrong as a monarchist now. I'm pretty close to a monarchist.
Well, good, because we all share the ideal, right? We want a government that's not overly intrusive into our lives, but what libertarians fail to understand is the paradox that always happens with government. The governments where power is consolidated into a small, like one person, like a king, they tend to be very not intrusive into your personal life. Whereas systems like ours, these gigantic mega states and bureaucratic systems, are extremely intrusive.
Yes.
So,
the book, and they just got to get rid of the simps and the sluts too. The libertarians do. I mean, it's just a movement like governed by simps and sluts. I mean, you look on Twitter, dude, like, and they're starting to get older too. So when they get older, like that's what I think a lot of the problems going on right now is the hippies grew up, and it was just too much freedom, and the hippies became like the deep state. And it's like, it's not good when that happens.
Yeah, this is a good point right here. Oligarchy is much harder to clean up than a monarch gone wrong.
That was the first pro monarchy argument I heard like 3 years ago. Where it was like, yeah, it's just easier to take out. I was like, you're right. You're right.
This guy Warren Heiss, man, this is actually something I could do an entire episode on, but I can sum it up real quick. Orthodox Church, duh. And there's a real reason for that, because there is no like papal authority that's like a central power over the whole church. All decisions are made through a conciliar process, so you're not going to have like a pope who's like interfering with monarchical powers.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's just my kind of non-religious explanation for why the Orthodox Church makes sense. We've gone way off topic. But I like it. I mean, it's fun.
That's cool.
It's fun.
Talking about power, it never gets old.
It's true.
It's just sometimes talking about the psyop that is the mainstream news is just really, it's never gonna not be confusing, because it's just all crap. Both sides have to be wrong. Like they can't be. They're saying direct opposite things. Yeah.
So, I want to. The Orthodox Church here is a joke. I mean, that's not true. They do not support BLM. The Greek Archdiocese of America with Archbishop Epidipolopoulos, or whatever the heck his name is, he is a heretic and he supports BLM.
Wow.
But the majority of the church, especially which is the Russians, Rokor has actually excommunicated people who support Black Lives Matter. So
really?
if you're looking for a based in red-pilled option for orthodoxy, anything but the Greeks, basically, go to Rokor.
I didn't know that. I'd seen that Greek guy, but I didn't know that he wasn't part of the main thing.
Well, he's the Greek Archdiocese. They're just not good. No offense to my Greek
Yeah.
friends. We love our Greeks, but pretty sure he's gay. So yeah, go to Road Corps, Russian Orthodox. Anyways, yeah, so let's talk about this. We're gonna go way over time, but whatever. It's cool. Let's talk about this GOP Senate and this. Did you look into this
Yeah, a
bill?
little bit. Yeah, probably not as much as you did, but yeah, I got the bill right here. Got the summary, the vote count, and it it says it increases the per country cap on family-based immigrant visas from 7% of the total. So it's an update on this one, but it basically it doubled the percentage back in June, and then they had another vote on it to do an update. What was the vote on the other day?
I mean, I actually didn't look into it as much as you think I did.
Oh, cool.
I just saw people like Witzke and stuff, and Michelle Malkin freaking out.
It's the same thing, man. I mean, I just think that like any expansion of immigration at all is terrible. Like it's almost like any reason. So any expansion is just going to be okay and more. All right, more. And then if Biden wins, it's going to be more. And then we should probably secede at some point.
Yeah, no, I mean, basically, from what I understand, it's so ridiculous. They're basically, from what I understand, they're increasing the H-1B cap, right, for big tech, so that they can replace Americans with cheap foreign labor. And who in their right mind would support that?
I don't know if they're in the right mind, but it just seems like most people. A lot of this momentum, dude, and immigration has just been viewed as good for so long by so many people that it's just very hard to. It's almost like college. Like college has been viewed as good for so many years that it's just hard for people to even view it as bad.
Yeah, but
globalism is like that.
How do you not tell? Like before 1991, we were only bringing in like 250,000 a year, right? And then all of a sudden, it's 1.1 million a year. That's like Ellis Island every year. You don't see why. Like we just want to bring it back down to like normal levels, like 200,000 a year.
Yeah.
Because for one, we're displacing highly skilled workers. This isn't just like, these aren't jobs that Americans don't want to do. This is college graduates who are working in science, technology, engineering, and math who can't get jobs because we're replacing them with people from India who are working.
Inexcusable.
Yeah. So,
wow.
and then that's just that argument. That's just the economic argument and we're pushing wages down, which is why that we like most of us are on paycheck to paycheck. Like my life is devastated because I had to buy new tires today, right? And that's that. But then we can get into the stuff that people like Fuentes go into. That 9 out of 10 of these people, they stay here, right, and they become citizens. And who do they vote for? Not us. They're voting for the Democrat, for far left progressive policies. And so that's why Virginia is a blue state now. That's why Texas is probably about to be a blue state now. And so if you support conservative values at all, so if you're pro-life, for instance, you have to be anti-mass immigration because your values depend on it, basically.
Yeah, and I don't know whether this is a moral argument or it's kind of like a tribal argument. I just feel like a country or whatever, you should be able to say no to people just because they're not you. I don't know if that's moral or not, but it's just that it's kind of like this. I guess that is moral. Like if you're in a family and like what's your reason for not helping this person? It's like they're not in my family. Like,
yeah.
Period. And that seems like, I don't know why that argument can't be made, but it doesn't get made. You get labeled a xenophobe or whatever, I mean, yeah, I am. Like, I like Americans.
Yeah. Rated musician says you guys are being racist. Time to report. Ray, you're like the most racist person in the chat. So you're Filipino, and he's like super paleocon. Loves Pat Buchanan. So
Yeah. Do you like him? I only have seen this couple speeches and couple of his writings and stuff. I don't know that much about him.
You should read his book, Death of the West. It's awesome.
Okay.
So, but no, I love Pat Buchanan. He's probably the So basically, I mean, I just laid down all of my reactionary views to you.
Yeah,
but
that's awesome.
When I'm working within the framework of our system, because I'm not a seditionist, my views are pretty much aligned with Pat Buchanan's, like paleocon. So,
So just real quick though, from earlier, I asked you about the martial law thing, and you said that you didn't really support the kind. Like, so I'm saying that. So, do you think he should do what Flynn is saying, or no?
I mean, if somebody else wants to do it, it's my obligation as a Christian to work within the system that I have. But I'm not gonna cry if somebody blows it up.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, it's kind of like I'm like adjusting my hat like I have one on. I'm like never not wear a hat. I'm just interesting. Anyway, okay, is that blowing the system up, or is that acknowledging the system as been blown up a long time ago? Like what if he comes out and he's like, the Constitution has been suspended since Abraham Lincoln. Like it kind of has been. What if Trump were to say that? And just to me, the
problem with if you're actually shifting the actual way that you're governing or portraying the way that you're governing, you have to have a degree of legitimacy that the masses view as legal. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Especially in our Anglo tradition. So, like, I know a lot of reactionary people have played around with ideas like a sovereign transfer of power, like maybe selling a certain amount of land or passing it off, or an election to end all elections sort of thing. So you need something that people are going to view as legitimate. And I think maybe Flynn's method would that's a tough it's a tough tough route to go. I'm not sure if you would have most of the country viewing that as legitimate. I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So in the same way that the left has taken over the media and is able to basically control the mass opinion in the way that it does, I think that we would have to be able to do that before we could pull something off like that.
Yeah. Start institutions. Yeah. Control the propaganda.
Yeah. So what I really think is before we even get to, I used to play that whole long game of wanting to do like build up that sort of thing. I just don't think that the long game option even really exists at this point because of immigration, basically.
Yep.
And now it seems even more like it's just all going to collapse. And so I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll see what rises from the ashes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the immigration thing, it's I definitely, the H-1B, I just don't understand why you're not training America. There's already Americans that are trained.
Well, they're 50% of our STEM graduates can't get jobs because of the H-1B thing. So, I mean, we have the skilled workers. They're just people like Google and all these big tech companies. They don't want to pay for them. So, but now I'm not opposed to immigration in principle. It's just, here's the thing, like the people we're bringing here, they're coming to participate in what they view as in the economic hub of the world. It's like a business hub. And for people like me who are traditionalist Christians, who we want to live in a society, right? That like I want a society built around tradition and Christian values.
Me too, yeah.
And so, but the people we're bringing here are people that are either coming to take advantage of our system, or I really hate this. They are people coming to participate in the American dream, right? But the American dream is not. That's not my American dream. I don't care about you wanting to come here to make more money. Like that's not what I don't care about that. Like, because that's not my measure of success.
Yeah.
I want people who want to, like, I want to pause immigration. I want to build a culture around traditional Christian values, and then we can reopen immigration to an extent from people who want to participate in that. People who want to come to be a part of what we're building here. And that's the criteria. So it's not merit based by skill. It's based by, do you want to be a part of what we have going as far as a traditionalist society?
Yeah.
Not this globo homo woke capitalist bubble.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, it's like we let people in so they can it's not just them bringing it, but it's like all kinds of stuff where like to propagate the worst ideas on the planet, like drink like Coca-Cola and like graffiti up cities and inflate currency. Like that, and you know, that's, and like not have like enough good babies. You know, like it's like what does, that's why I think it's just like a total moratorium for a while would be awesome. But we'll never get that because of the political. So many people, the establishment thinks immigration is just inherently good, whether right or left. Yeah.
I don't even know if they think that. I think they know what they're doing. I think
most common people on the right and the left, like, I don't mean politicians. I mean your common person
Oh
thinks
yeah,
immigration is very, very good.
Well, that's because the people who are benefiting from it are basically just teaching them this stuff. Like it's the conditioning that they're putting out to basically cover their asses for selling out Americans. They're selling out their country for profit, and it's both sides of the aisle, as we see, obviously. So diversity is our strength,
Warren says we need to cap genders at 200. That's a little high.
That's a good one.
Sounds a little high.
Yeah. Michael, YouTube has informed me that the AP has called the presidential race for Joe Biden. See more on Google. Just wanted to let you know.
That's tight.
Yeah. Michael, you're making too much sense. This won't fly with our bureaucrats. No, it won't. Let's see if we have any super chats on Entropy. Oh, wow. No, that's just the... Just Frank. Only Frank loves me.
I saw a poll on Twitter that said, who do you trust more, CNN or Dr. Fauci?
Ooh,
dude, very hard.
They're one and the same. They're from the same.
What if you had to click it? Who do you trust more?
I'll go with CNN, and this is why.
Yep.
The reason why is because those groundbreaking tapes from what the hell are they called? What's that group called that does the
Veritas?
Veritas. They release these recordings of their meetings, and I'm convinced because that CNN actually believes the stuff that they're putting out. Yeah. Like you could tell that these people are like true believers.
Yeah.
And Fauci, I just think is just a liar. Like he's just
a complete liar. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little gremlin, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I want a sticky with a vaccine.
But I actually I hate CNN a little less because now I just kind of pity them. Like they really believe what they're saying.
They're so pathetic. Yeah. On one hand, Veritas, I think this was the best Veritas video because it actually showed them talking on a live stream with James O'Keefe in on the call. That was the best scoop they've gotten. You know,
Yeah.
most other ones would have been like a soy-based Bernie bro just saying that they're gonna burn down Milwaukee. But like this was hardcore spice.
Yeah, yeah. His rated musician. Who do you trust more, OAN or Newsmax?
I don't know that much about Newsmax. I just know that they're not Fox.
I think OAN is probably more based, but Newsmax, I don't know. They have Michelle Malkin on.
Yeah.
I think they still have some pretty dumb normie takes, but
I've seen some cucks on Newsmax.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're always gonna get that. But they are tolerant of more to the right views. They used to have Witzke on all the time, rambling about immigration. So
Cool.
yeah, and they're free, and I don't have OAN, so watch Newsmax. The Daily Ignoramus.
Yeah, it's my morning. That's my morning show.
Yes.
10
Yes, out
a.m.
there.
every weekday.
Do you really go every day? Wow.
Yeah, every day, and then usually for about 3 hours. I stream every day.
Wow. How many do you get on usually?
How many people? Well, I mean, I just
Yeah.
caught this band, so across all the platforms, usually I have like 50 people tops.
Oh, that's cool.
Not that many, yeah.
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 I tried that. Like, I kind of regret doing the all the platforms at once because it made it really hard to get the numbers I wanted on YouTube.
Yeah.
Even though when you sit down and you add all the different platforms together, you're like, oh wow, I had a lot of people watch this. And then, but if someone's just looking at the YouTube, it's like kind of weak, and I'm like, man.
Yeah. I like D Live, man. That's my favorite one. D Live is really tight.
Yeah. Well, I have
it's
D
just-
Live. I have D Live. Everybody should go subscribe to D Live because at some point we know that we're not going to be on YouTube forever. So
yeah.
But I'll try to survive as long as I can.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it just sucks they don't tell you what you get banned for. They don't tell you anything. They just ban you and you try to appeal, and I ask them and they won't tell me. I wish they just give me a list of words I can't say, then I can like choose whether to say them or not. It never works that way.
Yeah. Well, when I monetized, I noticed like half of my videos were already like I guess when they
monetizing. Yeah, I never even monetize just for that reason.
Well, I'm gonna do it because I don't care if I end up on D Live, whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'll try and milk YouTube for all the money I can, and then
yes, sir.
And we have got a super chat. Yes, Mrs. Bezier Wise. I don't know how to say that, by the way. Healthy nations commonly selectively allowed small numbers of immigrant stranieri, but they always had to be pro the host nation to be tolerated. Good point.
Nice and based.
Yeah. Good point. Anyways, were there any senators who actually signed on to this this bill selling out Americans that kind of surprised you?
Not really. I mean, I thought that Mike Lee was better than this, but he seemed all in favor of it.
That was his bill.
I know. Not really. I can't, dude. I'm not surprised by anything. I mean, like, are there any senators that are? I mean, House people that are good? I mean, on immigration. No, I wasn't surprised by any of them. I just scanned the list. Not surprised, but surprised that the GOP is the way it is, though.
Yeah, well, I think Senator Hawley, everybody expected to be kind of more based on immigration, and then he. Yeah. So that I think is the biggest surprise. Rated musician Lindsey Graham definitely supports mass migration. So yes, he is gay. He's definitely gay.
Lindsey, it's just my poll workers, baby. Come on, baby. Don't make fun of Lindsey.
Yeah. Now they all have their moments that they do to basically pretend to be base for their fundraising, like Lindsey Graham during the Kavanaugh hearings.
That actually worked on me. I remember at the time being like, oh, like Lindsey Graham has got a base, but no, he's like, just kidding, baby.
Yeah. Thomas Massey, that's a good.
Massey's good. All right, so let me get this roll call vote. He's a senator though. He's not a
Well, it passed in the Senate, so
yeah.
we need to look at the senators. I don't really care about the House people that much. That's
An
a lot
amended
of
version. Yeah,
names to go through.
a lot of hot air. An amended version of the Fairness for Highly Skilled Immigrants Act. Yeah, so who's this? Zoe Lofgren. Dude, these lips are crazy.
Imagine naming your kid Zoe. Like how gay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there is. I'm trying to look up what Massey voted on this. Center for Immigration Studies. It keeps linking to the one back in June though. Okay, so I'm clicking on it right here. Update. It was passed to, agreed, and Senate has made the text of the Senate amendment available. When I do this, it doesn't show up it only shows up the one back in June. Passed to, agreed on my Senate CRS. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, it just says the amendment. I think it was just committee, yo. I think it passed in committee. And so it's not a bill yet. I mean, it's not a law yet.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard it passed the Senate, that they actually voted on it. Well, but it would require presidential ratification.
Yeah, here's what it says. The bill Lee passed today is an amendment version of what the House passed, so it has to go back to the House. McConnell and Pelosi have to set up a special conference committee with members from both House and Senate to come to an agreement. That's the the step we're on right now.
Okay.
So it goes back to the House.
Yeah, because it originated in the House. It was like HR bill something. Anytime you see HR in the front, it means it started in the House, and then. Okay. Is there a list of who voted which way in the Senate?
Yeah, that's the one from when it finally came out, but not in the. Let's see, I'm looking at it right now. Roll call. No, it just says the House, yo. It's so weird. I'm looking at it right here. It says roll call, one roll call vote, and it lists all the House people. Yeah, I'm looking at a list of all the House people right now. And
hey, do we want to give how a bill becomes a law education? We can do that.
Well, the easy version. you see what Ray said?
Yeah.
Bro, that's so funny. How does the bill become a law? It gets raped by Damn. Oh man. It has to go through the Netanyahu has to sign off on it. What's the name of the Knesset has to go through the Knesset first. Damn, that was bad. That was so baller. Oh, Ray, that's funny.
Yeah, we're gonna get demonetized on this episode for sure. Yeah.
We have a winner.
I lasted a week on YouTube after monetization. Thanks, Ray. Thank you. But now do we? Yeah, I don't.
So yeah, the what I always look at for the immigration stuff is Center for Immigration Studies, CIS. They're pretty good, and it's got these links over here, and it just keeps saying House Bill 3, SB 386, and it keeps just linking to the House. So, so the Senate passed bill. It's very interesting. Usually, they have it right here, and it says roll call, but it just says the House. I don't know.
Interesting.
Didn't do my homework.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all good. Screw the GOP. That's all we have. That's all we have.
What do you think is going to happen with that, man? Do you think what do you think is going to actually happen? Do you think we're just going to become blue as can be before the collapse? Dude. Yeah, I mean it's very, very hard to know. I mean, like there's no actual right wing. I mean, if you have, I don't know, man. There's no. I don't know what I can say on this channel and stuff, but
I am working on a Orthodox community initiative, but I mean, we can't we can't get you in yet until we bring you in.
I know.
But
I respect that.
We're building a it's actually happening. Like I'm working with clergy we're building 2 communities on different sides of the country, and we're working on a proposal for our bishops. We're going to get our church to bless it, our respective jurisdictions. So going to try and at least set up ourselves as to have some geographical little power going on. Nothing illegal. We're working within the framework of our existing governments and systems. But just in case,
I see you've worked on this line.
Yeah. Just in case shit hits the fan, we will have some structural infrastructure power already existing with some people and some bodies.
Wow.
So
It's very based.
Yeah, it's happening. It's actually. I was very surprised that people would be so receptive to this idea, but given circumstances, I guess maybe I shouldn't have been that surprised.
Yeah, no, I think most smart people know something is coming down, in our lifetime.
Yeah, even if Trump takes office in January.
Oh yeah, it's not
still
just that much.
It's just buying time, basically, which I would really enjoy. I would really appreciate that time. But it is what it is. Anyways, any final thoughts before we get off of here?
No, I'm with you, man. Screw the GOP, but I still would probably vote like almost straight Republican ticket, just because the left is so. Unless you're a straight accelerationist that wants to bring on the collapse, I would still vote for him begrudgingly. And I don't know. There's a part of me that just wants Trump to declare martial law. There's definitely a part of that. I don't, just for the show, and we'll see what happens with all the. I don't think the details of this case are worth following unless you watch the hearings. To be honest, like, you should watch them yourselves, like, because what you get from the media is very, very dishonest and clouded from both wings, and we'll see what happens with what will happen. And I recommend believing in Christ, because that's where the hope lies. There's no hope.
I agree.
There's no hope in any of these human systems. So
I agree. Our biggest hope is God, honestly. One more question from the audience, and this is a very important question. Which e-girl would you marry?
You got to give me a couple, no e-girls.
No. We gotta play the game, though.
If you name a couple, I can maybe give you an answer, but my resting policy is no e-girls, because they seem ambitious, and I'm not into ambitious girls.
I would marry. Let's see. I would marry Myrna, the app Become Orthodox on Twitter. I'd marry her.
Yeah,
she's a good Orthodox Syrian girl, but she's not like. But she needs to cover up a little bit. She needs to stop showing her titas. She needs to she needs to put on her head covering even on Twitter, and then maybe I'd marry Myrna. So even though real Med White David, he might not like that, but
I don't know any of these people. Yeah, I'm not I haven't brushed up on my
on your
I don't
ortho
really like
personalities.
I just don't really like. I would always prefer to hear a man talk about politics and stuff. So it's just like I don't really listen to like any of these ladies. I just hear them get made fun of. Like, they brought up Brittany Venti. I've watched maybe 10 minutes of her over a 5-year period. Like, I have no idea who these people are.
Bro, she is a fine mulatto, bro. I'm just saying. I don't even know who Pokimane is.
That is this new is this person, but like, I just hear them get brought up on social media and then I check out.
I don't know who she is. Actually, I mean, honestly, I just want like a based wife that isn't on the internet.
Yeah, so it's a trap, and we know about trap. We know what traps are.
Yeah. I turned my last one into an e-girl, and she cheated on me. So
Yikes.
We won't say any names. I probably shouldn't have even said that. So that was a slip up on my part. But
no comment.
No comment, bro.
Find a woman who wants to repeal the 19th and marry her immediately.
That's true. That's very true.
Out there.
But be careful, because the e-girls will tell you that as a trick. It's like a trick. Like, right-wing e-girls are like, "Oh yeah, repeal the 19th." Meanwhile, they're like actively involved in politics. Yeah. Owen, my good friend from Florida. I haven't seen him in years, but yikes, Ao. Good to see you in the live chats, bro. Yeah.
I wonder
I
what he's
need-
yikesing.
I don't know. Probably what I just said. Yeah.
I always get really thrown off when people are just like, no, or oh, or yikes. I'm like, which one of the last like 150 things that I say that you're yikesing, dude?
Yeah. Nah, yikes is like my favorite word too. I like that because of how ambiguous it is. Like,
Yes, it's a great word.
what I really like is when girls are doing their little selfie pictures, and I'll just comment "yikes,"
Dude. That's like
Yeah.
like destruction to their
Yeah, it's awesome, dude.
yeah.
Awesome.
The
But,
cheating thing. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I shouldn't have even mentioned. I shouldn't have mentioned that. That's like the things that I allow to come out of my mouth is kind of dangerous at times.
Yeah,
But because I really don't want a public scandal or anything. That's not what I'm looking for. But not trying to ruin anybody's whatever. I'm just digging myself deeper into the hole.
Sorry. I'm having a good time.
Yeah. But anyways, final question. I ask every guest this that I remember, and I never prep them. Make one reading recommendation to the audience.
Wow. Oh,
man. Cannot be the Bible.
Oh,
And
dang it. Because that was going to be.
Also, cannot be a book that you wrote. Not that you wrote a book.
Oh, yeah, no. Dang it, man. Dude, this is so hard to be put on the spot like this because I didn't even think about this. Can't be the Bible. Musashi. Miyamoto Musashi. So either the Book of the Five Rings, which is the philosophy book, or just the book Musashi, which is the epic tale of a Japanese swordsman.
Nice.
Yeah, great book. Yep.
Interesting. All right. Well, where can I appreciate you coming on? Where can people watch your live stream, your daily show?
Daily Ignoramus. So, as it says in my name down at the bottom, Ignoramus Media is my YouTube channel. I only have about 80 subs right now because my main channel with more than 1,000 got a couple weeks banned, and I got to not stream there for a couple months so I can not have my channel deleted. But Ignoramus Media on YouTube and Stephan Ignoramus on DLive, Twitch, and Periscope. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. But every 10 a.m. Eastern time weekdays, morning show, funny stuff. We kind of make fun of everything. It's really fun.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you. My fans are the absolute best fans.
Seems like
no offense, but I have the best fans on the internet. Even though I might not have the most fans, I have the best fans. And I will be streaming on Sunday night, actually, with a victim of human trafficking. So that'll be an interesting interview. I don't know where she stands politically. Don't really care. Just interested in the story. So we'll hear about that. And it wasn't even it was like a farm. It was like actual slave labor. So yeah. So we'll get into that. That'll be a good show for sure. So anyways, I'll see you guys on Sunday evening, and everybody go check out Stephan Ignoramus' live stream every day. Got to watch it.